All right. Readers, we just finished writing. I still have that on my brain. We are talking about immigration today, right? And we're going to talk about this new book, and it talks about different people's journeys to Ellis Island. So, let me pull my camera up. There we go. All right. And here's our book. Perfect. All right. Well, give me a second. Find the first page in here. Alright. And my fourth grade friends in class, is that good? Can you see? Alright, so let's see. How could you stand it? I asked a girl who had told a tale of war, of bombs dropping about her, of starvation, of the horrors of pogroms. We had hope, she said simply. Without hope, we would have died. And see, here we are here, my sister and I, in America. Now that we are with our father, we can begin again. See, Razovsky, reporter. So a reporter interviewed a girl. Okay? So there's an American flag here, in front of the tall windows. It curves, rippling in an imaginary breeze. As I walk past, it seems to ripple again, and bit by bit, the red and white stripes disappear, replaced by faces, hundreds and hundreds of different faces. And here's a letter, okay? Mama, today I am on the ship. I watch the harbor fall away behind us. I am safe. You were right. But oh, Mama, how I wish you were safe here with me. I will not let myself remember my last sight of you. I will think only of your face when we were safe at home together, when there was peace. So we're going to have a little girl kind of telling us her story. She, I believe, if I remember right, is fictional. She's made up. But you'll see parts of the story are from real people, from interviews about their journeys. The Faces of America. The trip from Europe was rough. The food was bad. You couldn't even eat at a table. We used to eat like beggars there. We ate sitting on the floor with our plates next to us. White tin plates, says Tessie Croce. She arrived in America in 1912, age 15 and a half. We spent 11 days on board ship. The first 4 days, we were deathly sick, seasick, because we were down in the hold. The cheapest possible ticket. I was so sick and I wanted to die. I was 7 years old, said Rhoda Fitchback, who arrived from Germany in 1926. And she was only 7 years old taking that journey. Christian?
The day they came, the other woman, 1912 is the year that the Titanic went down.
It is the year the Titanic went down, and the Titanic was one of those ships that was coming with a lot of immigrants for America too. Yep.
Really?
Uh-huh. All right. You can see this page. All right. My father took me to the main street, and all the people that got killed, their bodies were piled up on the sidewalk. It was horrible. Blood all over. So my father says, well, there's no use staying here. We went from Athens by boat to the Italian coast, and there they put us on another boat in the hold. And we were lucky for that. We made it. It was like a barn down there. They only had cots. You ought to be happy you're getting out alive, someone says. This is from James Caravolas. He arrived from Greece in 1915, and he was only 6 years old. 6 years old. So remember, are they leaving really nice lives behind?
No.
They're really mostly dangerous, right? You cannot believe how crowded we are here. We're in the very bottom of the ship, what they call steerage. No windows, no air. Row after row of bunk beds and everyone in them sick from the rolling of the ship. The woman in the next bunk, the one who is supposed to look after me, cannot raise her head. I think maybe she will die. I am not sick. I go and run on the deck, breathe the fresh air. There's no smell of blood in the air here on the ocean. So this little girl's home life had a lot of war and violence too. Almost half of all Americans alive today had an ancestor who came through this place, Ellis Island. My grandmother's grandmother was one of them, almost 100 years ago. She came in that great rush of immigrants that crowded through Ellis Island before World War I, when this huge brick building was only 20 years old. After my father went to America in 1906, he was writing back to us and sending money. Then he saved up money for the tickets to get us over here. He wanted his family. It took 5 years for him to save up enough money to take us over. Sonia Kevar arrived from Russia in 1911. She was 13. My father and we get up on the deck, and then I left, and he was crying. And do you know how I felt when I left my home, my father and my mother? Terrible, terrible. That's how I felt. I was the first in my family to come, said Theodore Spako, who arrived from Greece in 1911, age 16. So sometimes they would send the sons. Remember we talked about the oldest person who could kind of work first. So imagine leaving your moms and dads to go work to try and make sure that they can come have a better life. Now the weather is clear and bright, and the ocean is calm. Everyone feels a little better. Even the woman in the next bunk came on deck to see the sun. One of the men started to play his harmonica, and some of us danced. I laughed for joy when I spun around. There are so many of us here, people from all over. Some are very sad, very lonely, leaving all their families behind. Some are coming to join their family in America. They are the happiest, laughing. Are you able to see the right side decently, friends? Okay. I wonder, what about if I do it like that? Is that better for the pictures at least?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of my great-grandmother, because of her bravery, I'm an American. My face could be on this flag. The people were all feeling lousy, scratching. They were dirty. They didn't get no attention. When we got off the boat, got to Ellis Island, people were sitting on the benches, scratching from the lice. They were loaded with lice, says Jake Kreter, who arrived from Austria, so kind of by Germany, in 1911. And he was age 11. I remember the food was so bad that many times my mother would say, "Don't eat it." We were allowed to go out on the deck. People from upstairs, first class and second class, would look down on us, and they would feel sorry for us. And many times they would throw down an orange or apples or candy, says Esther Gidowitz, who arrived from Romania in 1905, age 5. Age 5, like a kindergartner coming making that trip. The food is not very good. I eat it anyway, Mama. I think you would tell me to do that if you were here. We have tin plates. We can wash them after each meal, but there isn't much hot water, so it's hard. I can't wash myself either. You would not like the way I look today, all dirty with my hair all tangled. I try the best I can. Watch over me, Mama. Your loving daughter, Sarah. So they couldn't take baths or showers or anything for those journeys, too. But what a leap into the unknown for her, and what dangers she faced during the crossing. Dear Mama, a terrible storm these 3 days. They drove us down into the hold and bolted the doors so we couldn't come up again. Everything roared down there, like the ocean itself was swallowing us. The ship rolled so hard it knocked me out of my bed, and I bruised myself on the floor. Everyone was crying and praying and screaming. I prayed to our Father, the prayer you taught me. I guess he listened this time, because finally the ship stopped heaving. They opened the doors, and we could see sunlight again, the first in days. It made me blink and blink. Nathan?
How do they get the letters from the boat to the lake?
So this girl isn't actually writing letters. She's just kind of like talking to her mama, but it's written down as if it was like a letter. What kind of faith do you think she has? What kind of faith? What kind of religion? She's Christian. Yep. How do we know she's Christian, at least? The Our Father. Good. The ship sprung a hole and water was coming in. This is one of the true stories. In fact, we were walking around with our life jackets. They sent an SOS out and told us another ship was coming to help us. In New York, they reported in the paper that the Mongolia sunk and all the people went down. Evelyn Berkowitz arrived from Hungary in 1909, age 12. So they would send out messages saying, try and save us. And sometimes it would get misinterpreted saying, that's the ship sunk and everyone died. But sometimes they didn't actually die. But a lot of times if they did go down in the ocean, what do you think happened? A lot of people would die, like in the Titanic. I knew so little about America. For me, America was cowboys and Indians and streets paved with gold, said Emmanuel Steen, who arrived from Ireland in 1925, age 19. So he thought America was paved with gold. What do you think he means by that?
Like
Everything's really rich and perfect and just magical, right? Is America really like that?
No.
But they're imagining, remember, because their lives at home were so rough and so poor. I looked at the old boxes and trunks and baskets and bags stacked there in the baggage room. Back then, there would have been thousands of them piled here every day while the owners went upstairs to be examined to find out if they could enter America. You should see all the kinds of people on that Ellis Island. Oh, my Lord. I grew up on a farm in Europe, and I wasn't used to this. But there you saw all kinds. Some of them looked like beggars. They were dressed in patches. Some of the men had big beards. And their hair, some of the Jewish people had braids. There were a lot of people, all kinds, and all of them seemed to me poorer looking and poorer dressed than I was. Some of them were very tragic, with patches, one on top of another, and on the coats and suits. People looked ruined, as if they were coming from some kind of great poverty, says Vera Gaditsa. She arrived from Czechoslovakia in 1928. We picked up a little boat, all full of people. Their ship sank in the storm. They weren't crying anymore when I saw them. They just looked tired, too tired to move, too tired to live, maybe. One boy and girl were holding hands. They are from the same country, and they met on the lifeboat. All of their family drowned. They want to stay together now. They each had a little sister like me, who is both dead now. They take me for a little sister and look after me. We sit on the deck together and talk about America, what it will be like. I tell them Papa did not come home to Armenia like Uncle Gregor, but sent tickets for us. And now he is waiting for me in America. So a lot of the times, family members would die in the journey, okay? How strange it must have been to them. So many people, so many languages, so much. Well, that's really off, isn't it? A little better. So much confusion. How frightening it must have been. They traded information while they waited, of course. Friends who had come earlier had sent back reports. But these newcomers couldn't really know what was waiting for them. At that time, somebody had to be responsible for you. My sister didn't know I was coming. If nobody's there to claim you, you had to have $25 on you. I didn't have it. Jacob Lotsky arrived from Ukraine in 1920, age 19. So if you were coming alone, you had to have somebody meet you at like Ellis Island to pick you up. If nobody was there for you, you had to have $25. Which was a lot, right? It cost $30 to get just the ticket for the lowest class ones. So you had to have almost double that if you were coming alone. Why do you think you would need to have that money if you were coming alone? What do you think, Zach? So you can kind of, start to get food and money, okay, and to help out with the orphanages, like fees and stuff like that. Brooke?
I think maybe like getting like taxis and money. I mean, like there might have been taxis back then, or like what Zach said.
Kind of a little more what Zach was saying, to help pay like for your food and everything like that.
Or maybe there might have been
Monica?
Or maybe if you're younger, like maybe hey, like mother's gonna take care of you
Kind of, yep. So that way you can have your food and that. So it would go to the people who are going to take care of you. Yep. So they say I am lucky Papa is waiting. If you are a child alone, they won't let you in America. Alberto and Rosa are 16. That's how old you have to be to come in alone. I hope they will be all right. Alberto taught me to whistle with my fingers like he does. It's a great loud sound. They have no money. I think you have to have money to come to America. Sarah. We'll read one more page. Dear Mama, this long voyage is over. We are on the harbor now. The land looks like mountains, but no snow. Alberto says they are tall buildings, the tallest in the world. Tomorrow, we'll take the little boat to Ellis Island. Oh, Mama, I saw the lady. We all pushed and shoved to get where we could see her. She is so beautiful, with her crown and her torch held high. Her face looks like yours, Mama, so calm and kind. I wept with joy when I saw her. Who's Sarah talking about? The Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, good. My grandmother tells me her grandmother's stories of crops trampled in the field and starvation following winter, of young men dragged away to serve in the armies. I can understand leaving that. Some of the immigrants had even darker stories, of blood running through the streets, of whole villages burned to the ground. Even the unknown will be better than that. When we got to America, we saw the Statue of Liberty, and Mother said to me, that means we are free. I remember her saying that, and I didn't know what she meant by being free. I only learned that after. And to this day, I think I am better American than a lot of them who are born here. Because when I sing God Bless America, I'm in tears. From Margaret Wordle, who arrived from Hungary in 1910, age 7.
Why is it called Hungary?
That's who named it.
It's the name of the country. Gus asked me, what's a statue? And then we're looking at the statue, and his father says, that's Christopher Columbus. And I put my 2 cents out. I say, listen, this doesn't look like Christopher Columbus. That's a lady there. Theodore Spako, who arrived from Greece in 1911, age 16. So people kind of confuse the Statue of Liberty with Christopher Columbus. Why would they confuse the Statue of Liberty with Christopher Columbus? Rosie? It's kind of stated that Christopher Columbus is the one who found America. So people would say, oh, look at that. And they're like, no, that's a lady. That's not Christopher Columbus. All right, my friends. So is anything similar so far to our story with, what was her name? Annie? With Annie? What's something similar? Why is this not working? What's something similar? Bennett?
Like the steerage.
There's steerage. Yep, talking about people being in steerage. Steerage ships, passages. Good. Micah?
There's also that. And like the first and second class would kind of like be nice and like give them attention.
The first and second class would give food to the lower classes, right? Like in the other book, they would give them the soup. They gave them apples or oranges in ours. Good. Monica?
But they're both girls and traveling by themselves.
They're both girls traveling kind of by themselves, right? But they're both girls traveling, kind of the ones in charge, right? Or by themselves. Good. Zach?
The food is still bad.
Yep, the food was just as bad. Rosie?
The trip wasn't that well when we got there because we were all sick.
They were all sick. Good. Anything so far different? Is there much different in these ones, Lizzie?
On the Pyramid of America, it didn't tell about the first class and second class and kind of like throwing down food for them. No, Mr. Victor had a friend that was
So Mr. Victor was able to get food, but in this book, the first class people are actually the ones giving them the food. So little differences, but similar still too. Good. Zach?
everyone on the ship sank.
Yeah. In one of our stories in our book today, they talked about ships sinking and having to pick up other people. Did that happen to Annie's boat?
No.
Thank goodness it didn't for them.
Annie's boat
Annie's boat
didn't pick up anybody.
didn't pick up anybody either.
All of them picked up.
Overall, are they really similar?
Yes.
They are. Our story is going to talk even more about their journey to America, and we will start that tomorrow. We'll hand out our books tomorrow. Thomas, we don't really talk about. Why do you think we talk more about those third class journeys?
Because the third class journeys are a lot harder.
The third class journeys were a lot more difficult and a lot harder on them. First and second class was kind of not like a cruise ship, but it was almost more kind of like a mini vacation for them because they didn't have to be down underneath. They had windows in their rooms still. They had beds. They could go anywhere on the ship, whereas third class was either in your bed or you were on the deck. In your bed or you're on the deck. That was pretty much it. So it's a little more heartbreaking to see how many people came that way too. Okay?
First and second class still didn't have the best food, right?
They had better food. It wasn't by any means like what you would get if you go on vacation today, but it was much better than the third class got.
So it's not like McDonald's.
It would be the best food that they could get. Is the best way I can put it.
Probably like some things I would get at lunch today.
So kind of probably, but even nicer, even in first class. So, all right, my friends, that's all we got for reading today. And tomorrow we'll start our book.
Bye.
You think?